So again, we're using still the same color. And now this is what it would look like around the whole room I've completed, wherever my space is.
All right,
that I want this on.
Like this. Now, Gary, can you step away from this? I mean, or do you have to, once you start, keep on going?
No, this is one where you can literally, you know, take a phone call, go, if you're a cigarette smoker, go smoke a cigarette. You could, you know, attend to your children. You could do whatever you want.
Okay.
So this one, because it's a positive application, literally, you can start and stop anywhere.
Good.
Yeah.
You like
I know, you love those.
Hey, with it, you know, having a baby
newborn
around,
baby.
I need to have those.
Exactly. So now the same process I'm doing, and I'm going to skim this on here again, like before, but you can see the depth of color that I get now because of the second layer application. So this time, though, instead of skimming the whole wall all at once, I want to skim and apply what's called my texture coat at the same time. Now, remember earlier I told you that the Europeans keep their finish is a little more quiet. It's not as busy as what I'm doing on my next step. They would leave it just like this, and then they would put an accent coat on top of it. And that keeps their finish. You'll notice dimension, but it's a more soft, not as busy as what it's going to be when I do the next step. So again, that would be your choice on how you would wish to deal with that.
Okay. Now, Gary, when working with this, obviously this is going really easy for us because we are doing it on a flat surface. We're doing boards here for demo purposes. But if you're doing this on a wall, what kind of cleanup is going to go with this? I mean,
very little. It cleans up very nicely. It's and it bonds to the wall very well. You don't have to worry about any runs or sags or any of that.
Okay.
I need to do another step on this while it's slightly wet, though.
Okay.
And that's going to put my texture coat on. And what I want to do is get a little of that material and then just ever so slightly skim across. Now my blade is almost held flat to the surface. Remember before when I told you I was taking it off, I had it 75 degree to 90 degree. Now I want to lay it on, but I want to have it very smooth. So that blade is almost touching, my fingers touch the bottom or the wall. And I keep that very flat. And then that's what creates these pits and crevices that you can end up then putting in with your accent coat to fill in those next areas with. So you can go ahead and work that around. It's very therapeutic in a way. It's, you know, it's sort of a mindless task, and you
sort
know,
of one of those things where you
it's like a Zen art. You know, you sort of get into the zone, so to speak.
Okay. Now, what about the toxic value of this?
This is all waterborne.
Do we have to worry about this?
No.
Open our windows at home? What kind of
It
things?
has no odor. It's all water-based. The Venetian gems are very environmentally friendly. They clean up with water. They're very durable. So none of that to worry about.
So disposal is easy and convenient as well?
Well, you don't want to rinse your materials down a drain. You'd want to have like a 5-gallon bucket of water and clean your tools in that as you go. Don't throw it down a drain because it is a plaster, and plaster does solidify. So you need to be cautious of how you dispose of that sludge that sits in the bottom of the container. But that's all you have to worry about.
All right. Great.
Now the next thing is I would want to sand my texture coat. Okay. And I know it sounds weird. I put a texture coat on and then I sand it.
Okay.
But the purpose, again, remember, is to retain that glass-like finish at the end.
That's right. So we want
and to do that, I need to make that smooth as possible. If your texture finish is very raised up, more than a 32nd of an inch, you got too much. Don't do a half inch. You know, we're not looking for this real dimensional thing. We only want a minute raised amount of material, and it still catches the glazed color. And I will sand it with just like a 120 or 150 sanding block or even a piece of sandpaper. And what that does is that gets out any high areas, and then I would take a little rag and just wipe it off. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking the amethyst and I'm mixing it with white on white to create an accent color.
Oh, okay.
And now the accent color, now if I wanted tone on tone, I could go with this exact thing on top of here and create a tone on tone, much like that blue sample was that you liked that was denim-y.
Okay.
That was all the exact same tone on tone.
Oh.
But I wanted to have a contrast of color. So I mixed some of the amethyst with white on white to create an accent color. And now watch what will happen, because now your pattern will come to life. And I need to scrape that material off. I'm pulling very hard and very quickly with my strokes, because at this point, if you don't do that, what happens is it gets too much material on there and it gets a little frosty and you can't see your texture below. So my whole purpose is to make that texture coat come alive.
Okay, so we don't want to...
So I wouldn't want it to stay on there for a long time. And you can see my angle is very high again, and I'm pushing down firmly and I'm pulling it off. So, you know, and it won't hurt the wall. Don't worry about this metal. The one thing you need to worry about these metals is don't get that edge and cut your finger.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing.
That is a very bad thing.
Now, some of the blades, you can round out the edges if you wish.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip.
And so you could just take a little, you know, a sanding block or something like that. Some of the manufacturers already have rounded edges.
Oh, that's a nice
Your
tip.
choice.
Okay.
Now, you could leave it this way as it is if you wished, or you could take another color, the original amethyst color, and I'll just show you real quick, and put it over this again, and it creates another whole dimension to the treatment. You can see now it creates almost another whole different colorway.
That's really beautiful.
Isn't that
Both
pretty?
of them are beautiful. But
So
you know which one's my favorite.
The purple, the
The
dark.
purple on the purple. No, I like this
Right.
one. I like the doubled up.
Yeah, I like
the
it.
texture.
Right, I like it that way too.
Really nice look.
Now, the last step is the step that really sets Venetian Gem apart from a lot of other things, and that's the burnishing. You would use your same blade again, and what you want to do is you want to take that steel blade and you really push it against the surface. This gets it very smooth, gets it to feel like glass, and it brings up the color. You can see how much that color starts to come alive when you burnish it. And this is double coated like I was showing you at the very end.
Okay. Now, what is the next step after we burnish? Do we have to do any waxing, any...
You can wax if you wish, and then that would be just to take something like a paste wax of any manufacturer's, and I could just show you. Just take it, and I use a Wax Master, which is a buffer machine like on cars, to actually do this on the job. But you can see how that just pulls that color alive.
Oh, that's beautiful. You don't have to, but it's definitely a good thing to do.
And it makes your treatment, your walls even that more durable.
Wow, that is absolutely beautiful.
And then you could polish it and burnish it when it gets ready for that.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much once again, Gary.
Thanks, Lon.
I think I'm ready to redecorate my living room. What do you think?
I think you could do it now.
Thanks, Gary.